It is our first round of 12 match here in the W3Champions finals.
It worked for you?
Yes.
Because I got kicked immediately as soon as I loaded in.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you guys can just go. That was the server that I was lagging in before. I don't know if it kicked me immediately for high ping or something. I got kicked out of me, but you guys can just go, or I don't know.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
And we have here the match between Fortitude and Colorful. As Colorful was waiting for his opponent, Fortitude defeated Krav with a 2-0, and now the two Chinese duking it out. Two teammates, two friends, and now two enemies for the foreseeable future. We have a human versus Night Elf, and we kick things off on Concealed Hill, which is Colorful's map pick, Remo.
Yeah, that's what we see in competition. Of course, here in this tournament, we have a bit of a different map pool. We have a huge map pool of 11 or 9 maps. The whole W3Champions map pool, which also means we're going to see a good old classic returning here for the series. Terenas Stand, yes. I think is going to be map 2 or map 3, which is pretty cool, which means Warden versus MK should be seen later. But here now at the beginning, of course, Concealed Hill, pretty hard to creep. You can't get too flashy. It's going to be a keeper against fast expansion 99% of the time.
We cracked the 3,500. Governor, give me that money. Raise the bar even higher. Love to see that, guys. Love to see you support this tournament so much. So yeah, Terenas Stand, map 2 by Fortitude. You were 100% correct. We've seen big battles of the former Romantic against Foggy there back in the GCS days. And they're still here at kicking. The map not too much, but the players certainly are. Fortitude, bottom left-hand side with an Archmage opening. Is he gonna go expanding, or is it this one base play, Remo? I'm still of the opinion that Mass Hunt's Keeper of the Grove can break everything here on this map, and it's unbeatable.
Well, if well executed, definitely gonna be scary, and Colorful's execution is always amazing. He's gonna creep 2 camps at the same time. Finds a mantle. That's a great start. Plus ring. Alright. Some good, some bad. These items do make quite a difference, especially in the early game. When the armies are still small, and most of your aggressive or defensive potential relies on your hero, then these items can really turn the tides of the game quite quickly. Priority number 1, of course, is AM. Leveling him up to 3, because when you're level 3, dealing with hunters becomes a lot easier. But, well, Colorful's just teching. We see no hunters play by him.
They don't understand how powerful that is, but maybe he's just afraid that that Fortitude would then tech, and then, of course, the Mass Hunt go into nowhere. Whoopsie! Footman dies thanks to this archer. Good aiming, milady.
1 shot, 1 kill. Well, I took a couple more there, but...
You still have that sound box?
I do. Wait, did you throw it away?
I gave him away to fans.
Selling the TP. Oh, it's tower push time.
No way.
Fortitude. Hell yeah.
Could we not mention this? How could we not mention this? It's a Fortitude game versus Night Elf in a on a favorable map for Night Elf.
Great scout. Sees it with a wisp right away when the militia leave. And now, all hands on deck. Kansas attack, double Agent of War. Hell yeah.
I was right. I was right from the start. No, I wasn't. But Archer, little Miss Raleigh here. Lots of damage. Has to use an entangle, but look at the swarm of militia. You are not gonna get far, kid.
And losing archers here matters. The fewer archers you're gonna have, the more problematic it's gonna be dealing with these towers. And 2 archers stuck in the south. 40 setting up the towers is gonna be quite scary, and Colorful has to buy time for the Agents of War to finish.
Ooh, boy. It's a lot of stuff for Fortitude. Does he even have a lumber mill? I'm not 100% sure, but he will get the Fend. That's already in the works, and the towers are coming. And so much normal damage. This Engine of War is toast. Second one will come up, though.
Defense, of course, finished with the footies. That is what makes this push scary. The Archer DPS is extremely low against these footmen. So the Night Elf has to rely on the Keeper, Treants, and Ancient of War. Normally you want to have 1 or 2 Ancients of War producing archers, and another one to be walking in and smacking around these footies. probably going to be your best source of damage. Colorful now committing to try to get the tower cancels, but one of them certainly being saved by repair. Another one is getting cancelled though. But the first arcane finishes.
Bought a lot of time with the footman. Has to cancel one more tower. The damage is just stacking up. Can't really do too much against that, especially since the footies are dropping quite low. We don't have a shop. We can't go for a region scroll. And there's still Moon Juice, Fortitude. Is he running out of steam here, even with the first tower up?
Yeah, if there's a ton of archers out, then it's going to be easy to sometimes even target down the towers, even if they're finished. This one is not finished yet, and this one will be cancelled. Once again, more time being bought for Colorful. It gets really tricky once daytime arrives. And once there's no more Moon Juice region, Fortitude has to remain here and apply pressure until daytime ends.
But Colorful is dealing with this so well. Always has mana. Now, not anymore. The Arcane Tower is, of course, very, very helpful against that. There's so many peasants, but what can they actually do? It seems like it's not enough against all that damage. More and more and more archers. The damage is just not existent for Fortitude.
It's got 3 Ancients of War. One of them now walking forward. We got the Hunter's Hall coming. Colorful about to get level 3 here soon as well, and if he goes into a few Huntresses, this would be the perfect transition now to go into an expansion.
Rough game for 40. Had a good time against Krav. I think he enjoyed these games immensely, and it's a little weird. But now what do? Tier 1, only footies against a keeper who is not that far away from 3.
About to get it here. Very good scouting by Colorful. Absolutely excellent wisp usage. At the beginning to see the AM creeping, now to see the expansion. Also, of course, importantly, to see the militia train coming earlier. That's a lot of footies, by the way. Jesus.
Yeah, but does that really matter if there's a lot of Entangle as well? Usually Entangle neutralizes footmen, but
yeah,
you know what?
Depends on the fight that you're gonna get, and also on the Moon Juice situation. The Moon Juice is looking real bad for Colorful. He's got hardly anything left anymore. He's gonna have to go for some Moonstones, and this is gonna be a long daytime for him.
You know what? I wouldn't mind if both of them go for an expansion now, and then we get a 2-base game with super late tags. That's a style we don't see too often. But now we get the Mass Huntress, and you know what I just said about Mass Huntress on Concealed Hill against expansions. Fortitude's game 1 is looking real grim.
Yeah, this is a very interesting kind of match. We never really see this. Just tier 1, mass, and expanding. This is what I assume early Reign of Chaos days probably looked like. But yeah, we're on a very strange game, something that will oftentimes happen when Fortitude is playing. But he's got the Expo coming now. And if he makes it to tier 2, Rifle Caster absolutely destroys Huntresses. And also does well against archers.
Yep, that is known, Remo, but the problem is getting there against the force that is already rushing down to the bottom right. The tower isn't up yet, and we saw it in the GNL show match or in the gym show match early on. Key is having the tower up, and if this is getting cancelled, Romantic is in an even bigger trouble than before.
The tower's gonna finish. The footies are making their way back. And they're still pretty healthy for the most part. Love this staff on the AM. The mobility, so important for him. Starting the TP earlier was a bit dicey, but yeah, what's the right choice, especially with that tower push strategy in mind. And now the tech is starting for 40, while Colorful hasn't expanded yet, and is hardly ahead in tech as well.
He is very much ahead in experience. And he can harass, of course, but only with the keeper. Okay, he decides to go into an expansion now. This could be a long game, except if Fortitude decides to push very early on tier 2, which I don't really expect from him.
Yeah, Colorful is gonna need a second hero advantage, I feel like. I think he has to go Panda, creep up heavy, because this army for him is gonna fall off like a brick. Archers and Hunts, terrible against human in the late game. Ideally, you want to try to get value out of them while you still can, before the human is finally ready with a big army on tier 2. But at the moment, it's only the keeper harassing, who's got good experience. If he makes it to level 4 and 5 fast, he can still be quite dangerous.
Yeah, the most important thing here, like, how do you make use of the hunts? They are pretty expensive, they soak up supply, and they are getting wrecked by water elementals and riflemen. So, really not too sure what he can do. Like, for creeping, they're pretty good. For harassing, they're pretty good. But can he enter the main? He might be able to.
It's very dangerous, though. A Zeppelin play could make sense, perhaps. But so far, the labs aren't cleared out yet, and this AM's #1 priority is very clearly scouting. Seeing what's going on, getting ready. I think 40 knows he's in a good position if he can just stabilize with a solid Tier 2 army. Defend footies are still good in a late game push, unlike Huntresses. Especially if they're backed up by a couple of heal scrolls. I was half expecting Fortitude to throw down a couple of racks and go for mass rifles, but he's not doing that yet.
The player's forces are under attack.
Because racks can't produce tanks, Remo. What are the odds that we see tanks here?
Being a Fortitude game, you can never rule it out. Would be kind of throwing away his advantage, though. He's got a real lead going into the mid-game, potentially, with the weak Night Elf army. But going for tanks takes forever. In that case, there would be lots of time for Colorful. And it's Fortitude, actually. With the Panda, Colorful is not going for a second hero yet.
Oh, interesting. I thought he could enter the base here. Apparently not, or he blocked himself a little bit. That would have been a cool play to force Fortitude back. Now, always setting up a trap, or is he not? No. Archers just run away afterwards. Double Panda, plus a harassing Archmage on the expansion. Good plays by Fortitude today.
Yeah, looking really good. He's got so much gold. Double Sanctum coming. Rifles queued. But if Colorful can capitalize on his level advantage, this could still be very much playable. If he gets Panda level 3 and 4 fast, that is of course extremely good against Rifle Caster. The IM is just parked in the north, just continually not allowing this expansion to come.
Like a Blade Master against Night Elf. Just the weak spot, the Achilles heel, the Entangled Gold Mine. Now breaking into the base. Anticipated this play before. And this is a lot of damage here. Workers are falling left, right, and center. Can't prevent the Sanctum. Okay. But the first Rifleman will fall.
Yeah, Fortitude not going for more production faster, not going for double racks, getting punished for this. 2,000 gold almost that he could have used to get units instead, and Colorful is just farming kills right now.
Yeah.
Militia coming out, but they're getting sniped quickly. The archers in the back still well protected, and this is a very good use of the Huntresses. Get the kills while you can. I think it's best here to sacrifice these hunts and take out as much as you can on the way.
Man, for once I feel so smart that I suggested pretty much this play, and it worked out so well. This is a once-a-year moment for me, Remo. I mean, you have these all the time, but this feels good to be right.
It's getting more and more kills as well. One more rifle goes down, and Fortitude here slowed down by so much. Huntresses were also saved to the fountain. They're gonna live to fight another day while the Entangled has finally finished. Needs to send over some wisps. And then this game is still very much winnable for Colorful. He's pretty close to Keeper level 5, which is really fast. And the Panda level 3 could also be achieved if he creeps this fountain here. There's an Ancient of War already in position.
Players' forces are under attack.
Man, this is quite a comeback, maybe. Especially taking out these riflemen. So good, because everything that Colorful has falls to riflemen. Creep speed intensifies a lot if you have more riflemen. But Fortitude lost the 2 riflemen, so that's not too bueno. And the Keeper ain't done yet.
Yeah, he knows the towers were taken out before. They're almost finished, though. And this is also something that Colorful recently has gotten so good with. Something that Moon was always known for. Keeper and Dryad harass, backstabbing, looking for reinforcements, trying to buy time. That's how he defeated Chimiko, for example, in DreamHack in the quarterfinals, where he played excellently on Tidehunters with this kind of style. Where also he was a bit behind, just like this game, but he's buying time, looking for more kills. About to get level 5 on his first hero, while the Panda is maybe creeping, will be creeping at the lab.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you that Colorful got a lot better in realizing what the real win condition is for him, and understand how to get there. Some games that look lost, he finds ways to get back into them. Like a Moon absolutely does, never giving up, always fights until the last minute. And Fortitude, step by step, he's getting there.
Keeper just got level 5. That's going to mean so many treants.
Yep.
Only really efficient way to deal with this is with priests, but if you send in the priests, then the Drive and the Keeper are going to snipe them. So you have to kind of come back with quite a sizable part of the army here if you want to be efficient in defending. But just trying to do it with breakers that are coming out of the sanctums and the towers. But it's a lot of mining time being lost here for 40.
And 40 spent his entire bank. And I want... Okay, he's at 70 supply. He got a decent army of rifles, breakers, casters. Wonder if Colorful is ready for that, but we have the bears on master already. Attack upgrades coming as well. Still got 3 hunts, which he should definitely replace over time. But man, does he even need bears? The treants are doing all the work.
Yeah, great play right here by Colorful. With the good movement, buying time, leveling in the meanwhile with a panda, and then getting that level 5. And this was just not good enough of a response by Fortitude. He should have brought back at least 2 priests and 2 rifles. But he just tried to defend with a militia, and that was just not gonna happen against the Keeper level 5. And now 40 is forced to push and go all in. He's too far behind economically. He can't go into the late game. He's going up against tier 3. So now he has to go for the push. Colorful saw it coming though. He's got triple Ancient of War with Nature's Blessing defending at the expansion.
I was about to say, man, Remo, that's the deluxe version of the Ancient of War with the upgrade. So much... Well, it's not a meat shield, right? It's a wood shield. But so much buffer HP in front of the real
army.
Shield. An oaken shield. Oh, Remo, how could I not do this? Yes, of course. And it's a little weird to engage through the bottlenecks, but that should all be fine. Heal scroll, invo potion, breath of fire everywhere. Heal scroll on 40 side as well. Double heal scroll actually. Lots of illusions, and the range units are super safe in the back.
Breath of fire from the panda on both sides. Good connection. Seems like so far not too much damage has been taken. Of course, the heal scrolls also helping out as much as possible. Big heal scroll there by Colorful as well. The Hunters will be falling. As mentioned, they are very poor now in this kind of a late game state. But honestly, Fortitude is making this a real push. He's got 80 supply pretty much.
That was with 2 heal scrolls, and now he's probably gonna suffer. Lots of roar on his units, a little bit on the rifles as well. He never dispelled that. That's +5, and he got the next heal scroll, which is so important. Man, this is a great game to open up the series.
And the next heal scroll is going to be ready in 10 seconds. He could go for that one as well. Oh, he's not getting it. Oh, that could be a crucial mistake. But Colorful doesn't realize that a gift was left for him in the shop. He certainly has the goal to go for a heal scroll. And what if he knew? But the Ancient of War still buying time. Good defense by Colorful.
Yeah.
And once he makes it to 80 supply, he is so scary in this late game.
Absolutely. Control magic coming up as well to steal the summons here, but I think you will just see that and stop summoning them. Level 4.5 Archmage. Hero levels pretty even between the two.
Player's forces are under attack.
Did he get the second heal scroll? No. Panda gonna pick it up. Finally, the hunt's gonna get taken out. DPS just way too low. Plus, bad armor type in this late game. We have Fairy Dragons instead joining the fray. And the Mana Flare is the new kind of star late game player in these engagements.
So much AoE damage, if positioned correctly, but maybe that's why Fortitude still has the rifles in. They can deal with them relatively well, but if not, yeah, you're in for a treat as a Night Elf. Look at the treants. It's so many. Sends an entire forest into Fortitude's base.
The Battle Broccoli, as Slash calls them. In the north, we have the real fight brewing. The Brewmaster is ready to throw in their breasts. One bear gonna go down. Lots of bears here getting very hurt. But now come in the Fairy Dragons. We have one Gyro as well in the mix, but TP up at Fortitude doesn't look like the look of this anymore. he didn't lose too much. I think a good trade for 40, Colorful down to 67 supply only. Also, considering we're on Concealed Hill, Mountain Giant transition is always possible. Sometimes Colorful likes to go for that, but I guess especially at the moment, he certainly doesn't have the lumber to try that.
Seems like it's currently a Kevin Schwame specialty. Not too many other players still do it, but you can never rule that out. Who can recover faster from this? 5.5 on the Keeper. Tranquility close as there is no Stormbolt. This is gonna be amazing. Level 5 Archmage though, with level 3 Water Elementals. Okay. Could transition soon into Blizzard.
And I was looking to do a bit more damage there. With Breath of Fire plus Treants, you can threaten that base quite effectively. Main gold mines now have expired. But Colorful may not want to move the tree into the middle, because if he does, then the staff is going to lead to a very weird location every time.
Might need a stalemate breaker, Remo, in the process of this game. 8,000 left for Colorful, 5,000 roundabout left for Fortitude. Who's pushing again? No tier 3 transition as we oftentimes see from him. And Colorful supply block now. I don't think he wants to go into high upkeep on one base. That seems dangerous. We have another battle. Man, it's so many breakers. How do you deal with them?
And the Bears don't seem to have the necessary damage. 1-1 upgrades on both breakers and Bears only. It's not the highest. Fortitude completely skipping mortar teams. He just wants to have a good number of rifles against the fairies and a whole bunch of breakers to block in front. And that might be working.
Panda, a little bit of trouble. Has to go for the TP out as both of the staffs were busy. Loses 2 bears, about to be 3 bears. And the supply lead and a 1,000 gold bank lies with Fortitude, who's really impressive in the past couple of weeks. Fortitude, do you find another answer, or do you have to rely on that ultimate?
Fortitude, man, what a great game. Coming in with a cheeky tower push and then playing a good transition, having been in a tiny bit of problem in the mid game. But Colorful just not looking as devastating as he usually does. And I think it's because this was such a wacky game. Especially the lumber economy for Colorful didn't look good for the longest time. Now it finally does. But when you go into late game, you have high upgrades on Bears and Dryads. And these archers, without marksmanship, not really providing so much.
Yeah.
Seems like Colorful might be losing this first map. He's still trying everything. Fairy Dragon's now in the mix. Good AoE damage. There's a heal scroll still available. Whew. Massive heal scroll by Fortitude. Suddenly, it's not too many breakers left standing, and this is a great position. And Tranquility.
Wow, there's so much healing. He lost 2 casters there, thanks to the Fairy Fire. The heal scroll was a little bit too late. And he has to eject, gotta get out. Panda just brings the heat one more time. Colorful, yeah, he survived and he got a decent army still, but he's also supply blocked. Like, this went into his infrastructure. He needs to rebuild 3 Moonwells. That's a lot of gold just for buildings, and Fortitude can put that into scrolls and army.
Yeah, he's got a level 5 Panda, which is not to be underestimated, even against Bears. They have a good amount of HP, but level 3 Breath, very good. Seems like Colorful, he's the one who needs level 5 Panda as well. He's pretty close, but he needs a bit more.
Can he still do this? He's trying to creep, but will he be given this time? Gets a little bit, but... Oh, Panda, level 5/5 combo is already here. Mass teleport, of course, in a game like this. Amazing if you can staff into something. Otherwise, the Keeper will, of course, cancel it with Entangle. And Tranquility once again, man. This cooldown, ridiculous.
Fortitude also healing. He's the one at the fountain. Picks up, I think it was Belt, not even sure.
Yes.
Needs to make use of the double staff now. And has the first ready. And the second good trade here so far for Colorful. He got really close to level 5 on the Panda. But we'll be losing 1 more bear here at least.
The slow trap kicking in. Inner Fire Archmage bringing in some damage. We still have a mana potion, invo potion, heal scrolls. Fortitude has so much to work with. Colorful is going for this Hail Mary play for the high ground, but Fortitude should scout and punish this pretty soon.
Very interesting. Fortitude here without any fancy tricks, without any shenanigans. No tier 3, no triple hero, no inner fire, frag shots, not even any mortar teams. Just a whole bunch of breakers and casters and rifles. Plus heal scrolls, and then it's time to go. Level 5 on the Panda finally reached for Colorful, but it just seems a bit too late.
Yeah, and all the units that will be produced now would probably die and intercepted. Breath of Fire really doesn't do too much. It's of course a nice prep for when Fairy Dragons come in, but Fortitude stays out of range pretty much the entire time.
Breath of Fire there once more.
He's just pressed against the corner, can't get out, no TP. I mean, he could staff onto the tree, but then, you know, where do you go from there? Oh, that was a big breath.
Yeah, for Colorful, this seems to be the rage against the dying of the light. No really surviving this one. One more Tranquility.
Do you think a band with the name Rage Against the Dying of the Light could be successful? Would their song be
I could certainly see it.
Healing in the name of?
It's a pretty famous quote, though. I think that's not edgy enough for these young musicians, you know.
Slaughter! Everything dead! Yeah, I think it's time that you give up this base. How many units just died? He just ejected with his heroes. And that's pretty much all he can do.
Colorful certainly with quite the optimistic mindset here. Still trying it, giving it his all. Let's get the Tree of Eternity in the middle, but he's losing every means of production. Come on, I want to see that Panda level 6. Let's go. This is...
Oh, close. This is it, right? If the Archmage stays... Huh?
One more experience, actually.
Yeah, if the Archmage moves away, then it's...
Yeah.
No. Oh! When he got level 6, mass teleport. And of course, if in a fight... Wait, did he cancel it? Ah, he went to the middle! Jumping on the Tree of Eternity. Because he's smarter than us, Remo.
Good game by 40, just a classic Fortitude kind of game. No nonsense, no shenanigans. Not trying to get into the Out of Warcraft highlight reel, just standard play.
Yeah, that was Kraft's job earlier with the possession. Oh, level 6, there you go, Remo. Will we see the ultimate though? Here comes mass teleport, not using it before. Is it time now? Come on. Split, split, split. He's not splitting, Remo.
Could use it to Cyclone here, maybe.
Yeah, and to
maybe
kill.
Ready for the Trank. Split, Cyclone!
Yeah!
Hey,
Yeah!
there it is!
Yay!
Hey!
GG, fun game. Colorful loses game number 1 and 40, causing quite a bit of an upset here.
That was ridiculous. What the hell was that game, dude? Oh my god. My kind of game right there. Tower Rush? I could get behind that.
Tower Rush into Mass, into Expo, into a lot of stuff in high-level heroes. This is how we like our Warcraft.
Yeah, that's almost like one of those classic replays that you watch and it's like, yeah, this happened in 2008, this super epic game on Lost Temple. That's almost one of those games. It was just so crazy front to back. Like even Panda versus Panda, although it's more common nowadays, is so strange to see. Nice game, very nice game. These guys didn't disappoint at all.
All right,
the problem for Colorful was his defense was pretty solid. He lost one archer, which wasn't the greatest at the beginning, but it overall solid defense. I think he didn't find the right transition. I think the hunts weren't necessary. I think they fall off too hard later. I think if you just spammed archers like crazy and then go marksmanship with MGs and maybe that old triple hero style, I think that could have worked better. Like if you play this bear dryad mix, you really need a lot of them. You want to have like 80 supply bear dryads with like 2 or 3 ferries or something. And that is really good with upgrades. But with how many archers and hunts he was stuck on, that didn't seem too feasible.
Yeah, he seemed maybe a little bit, I think Neo pointed this out, maybe a little bit thrown off by how weird of a game it was, like not understanding exactly how to transition perfectly, and tried to go into a standard game. But then I do think, it sounds weird to say, but the army for Night Elf seems to be a little bit timing based. And then once the human really gets online, if they get that slight supply advantage on tier 2 against tier 3, they can really just snowball the fights for the rest of the game.
Okay, we got a couple more donations for the prize pool, everybody. Thank you, Nikita, for the $5, buying a W3Champions profile picture. Very nicely done. Aaron, thank you for the $20. Thanks for keeping Warcraft 3 alive, he says. Our pleasure it is. Funk Daddy with the $5. So many thanks to Back to Warcraft and W3Champions for all you do. Love you guys. And Jay Getz with another 35. Gotta get to 3,500. We did, brother. We did. $20 coming in by Supreme. 10 from Junkie. You guys are pretty damn amazing. So, Governor has to pay the real prize pool now, 3,780, as we are just 1,250 away from the new Back to Warcraft in-game UI.
Very, very cool. Trying to get ready for our second map once again. We're struggling a bit with the hosts.
You know, we've been there before. We could do it again. All relog, all restart. Then we should be good. Map 2 is something that Remo would enjoy. And you guys are with us still. Thank you very much for sticking with us. We're getting close to $4,000 here, as of course Governor still has to drop 250 here. So basically $20 away from the 4K. That means $1,020 away from the new Back to Warcraft in-game overlay. But we gotta settle this match right here. Best of 3 between Colorful and Fortitude. The favorite actually dropped his map, dropped Concealed Hill, and now we go on to Fortitude's map, and we welcome you back to Terenas Stand. Carson, do you feel
Classic
like
map.
casting?
Yeah, is Carson in the game now, by the way?
I'm in. It actually worked.
Shit,
It worked.
Carson is here. Oh,
Yeah,
Damn.
fine. This is the first game that's worked for me, but I think we're good now. I think we're stable. No lag spikes, no nothing.
Yeah, Terenas Stand, a fun map. It's a bit of a balanced disaster in most matchups, but it's really cool, very unique. And as we predicted, MK versus Warden. Very good here because you can creep level 3 easily and expand easily. Very defensive map with a merchant between main and expansion and defensive bridges and so on. Fun fact about Terenas Stand, for me personally, this is my most vetoed map of all time. With Twisted Meadows and Turtle Rock, I was always like, sometimes I'm vetoed, sometimes I don't. And maybe also Amazonia sometimes. But Terenas Stand, just I, myself, could never do it. Could never do it. And you know why? Because I play Undead. And Undeads don't like merc camps. It's fact.
Well, in the past as well, it was the old version, right? When the lab was behind and Ziggurats got one shot by sappers, and you could speed scroll them. It was really bad for Undead. It was one of the worst maps in history for Undead. It's maybe a little bit better in this version, but it definitely has not historically been the best.
Yeah, honestly, with the new fast expo options for Undead, it has become better, but without fast expansion, it's pretty horrible. But yeah, we're gonna see fast expansion here certainly.
Oh, he denied a creep.
Oh, with the Ancient of War. Ooh,
Yeah.
That's a big mistake.
Very,
Every time
very
I see
big.
this on this map, it's always like this one little, tiny bit of experience that's missing for level 2, for level 3, for level 4.
Yeah, I wonder how that impacts. Of course, okay, Colorful's going to go for a different level 3 creep route than Fortitude's going to go for. But I wonder how that actually impacts the level 3 if you do need to creep an extra camp. And of course, he needs that blink, most likely, too, to go for the harass on the expansion so that he can get out of the bolt surrounds that are definitely going to happen. But the greater heal, Mantle of Intelligence, great items. On the side of Fortitude, not so lucky.
Oh yeah, that's pretty trash. Cloak can maybe help, but honestly, it's rather the Warden who has to hide once we have the level 2 Stormbolt
Forces are under attack.
ready. Oh, the Wisp. What's he doing? Warden blinks across very early. Says hello. Would love to steal the last hit right here, and she gets it! Oh, wow. Great fan of knives. The pendant goes to the MK.
Close. Yeah, that pendant is obviously a massive deal. Okay, greater heal used. Another fan of knives. The remainder of the creeps will most likely go to Fortitude, but he's not going to get level 3 off these creeps, worth noting, unless he gets some actual unit kills. There's another Stormbolt, but he could have actually gone for that. Not quite enough mana for a blink yet, but the Warden gets out and probably going to have to go back home.
Does he get level 3 MK with the green? He
Oh,
might
yeah, I
not
think he will.
even.
You think?
Really,
I
though?
think it would give him 93 experience. I think he can scrape that together.
It's like 3, 1, 1, 1 creeps there or something. But he's gonna go for the boots and go on a bit of a hunt. Normally you want to be scouting with 1 footy in the north, always looking for the Tree of Life. He hasn't found it yet. It's positioned creatively, not where we would normally see it.
A player's forces
And
are
the
under
Warden
attack.
did a great job stealing those 2 big assets. That's absolutely huge.
Yep.
She's about to get level 3 right now.
Yeah, that's really, really nice timing, and he's got more mana now. He's also got the Cloak, which kind of actually helps, because he can continue this sort of, Shadow Meld harass into daytime, which will be a whiles away, but still important. The Arcane Tower, about 40% done, so there's plenty of time to kill some peasants. The Mountain King trying to get that level 3 before he throws the first hammer, but he might lose some peasants in the meantime. At least probably 3, maybe even all 5 could go down here.
Get a level 2 Stormbolt now. Always trying to cover the peasants with the units. Alright, 3 peasants fall. It's not the end of the world. Expansion has finished. Now it's going to be starting to produce peasants over there. Peasants, peasants, peasants. Peasants and farms. Peasants and farms and footies. That's the early game for the human when fast expanding. Question is, where's he going to go to in the late game? Normally it's one of 2 things. Either knights with tanks. Tanks to buy time, knights to creep with. Or, recently more popular, mass air.
Right. That could be... That's always turns out to be an interesting game when it is mass air, the sort of mass Dragonhawk style. I've heard it described as, if you're ahead going into tier 2, you can make the mass Dragonhawks work if you get a clean expansion. I would probably define this as a clean expansion from Fortitude. So maybe that is something that could actually work, yeah. Oh,
That
mistake.
staff, I think, wouldn't have saved him anyways, but yeah. Colorful right now has 22 supply. It is 1 Warden, 1 Archer, and a bunch of Wisps. 40 is gonna respect this, though he himself doesn't have the most units.
True. Yeah. And, a lot of experience could be fed potentially if he overcommits. And, of course, we all know, giving that Warden level 5, eventually level 6, ends up being a win condition for Colorful. So you don't want to feed all these footmen maybe before you have a heal scroll or before you have a regen scroll on your Mountain King.
It always puts a little smile on my face when I see players such great as these, in this case Fortitude, who are also always fail at surrounding, just like me,
Yeah.
We got something in common.
Human players, only Chemika really goes for a ton of surrounds. I feel like the rest of the humans, especially the European humans, don't really care too much about that stuff. Like, players
Dude.
like Hawk and Todd don't go for them a ton. Todd loves his denies, of course. And then especially Yaz was, he was known for being bad at surrounds.
Yeah, speaking of European humans who surround, perhaps you're not aware of him, but there's a French human player who his whole game plan is purely surrounding. And I'm not being hyperbolic, it actually is. His name is Anima, who does nothing else except for try to surround 24/7.
Yeah, I haven't seen that name for a while. Oh, the tree. What the hell is going on here? Okay, that's a damage tree. Okay, we'll be fine. But 1 more second in range of those creeps. That could have been risky business for Colorful there.
MK very strong here with those bonus mana. Does he have defend finished? Oh, he's not researching defend. Whoa, that's a big mistake by 40. Without defend, these footies are all gonna have a painful end.
Yeah, and that's eventually going to feed a lot of experience to the Warden. I mean, I wonder if it almost becomes worth it once you've sort of done your initial harass on, what might be the Tree of Life or the Ancient War, stuff like that. Maybe some Moonwell's tier 2 buildings. It's almost just worth it suiciding them while creeping up the second hero, because if you feed every one of these footmen and the priest to the Warden, you're going to be reaching close to level 5 already. So maybe it's worth trying to do something else with them once it gets to that point.
Colorful just scouted the human main. Sees nothing too telling there just yet. Just tier 2 just finished. One tower coming. Shredder gonna give all the lumber to Fortitude here soon. Who is not going for a second hero yet. Or did he? Alchemist? Yeah. It's kind of the norm actually on this map. MK pressure into Alchemist follow-up, trying to delay the entangle as long as possible. But the big mistake here is he didn't go for defend. This is a huge error.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, his lumber's a little bit low, but he's got, what, 6? He's got almost 11 peasants on lumber. Yeah, 10 peasants on lumber right now, and a shredder. So he definitely could have gotten it, even though he's only got 230 lumber right now. He would make up for it eventually. Oh, this shredder could be staffed out, I suppose. Okay, it will be safe.
Double Zeppelin. Forgot about the staff as well. All right. Trying to last hit. Oh, gets it with a fan of knives. Item goes to the MK. What's the item? Sobi Mask.
Ooh, yeah, really good items so far for this Mountain King. And both Zeppelins are kind of hurt in a way that if you wanted to go for a drop on, say, that gold mine or the tree or something, a little bit too difficult to do that with the Zeppelin. It would risk falling and crashing down, and then you're dizzy for such a long time. So that damage on the Zeppelin is pretty significant for Colorful, but Colorful going to continue to try to creep, try to get closer to level 5, and for now it's just a solo Warden. Do you think he's got enough experience to justify a second hero this early on, Colorful?
It's always tempting to go for the Panda. That AoE might be very much needed against the Dragonhawk soon, but maybe he wants to have level 5 first, which is still missing quite a bit. And here we see the effect of the Alchemist. The heal spray, very helpful. Oh, look at that stumble dodge. Damn, that was nice.
There's one more heal spray. Warden's got to be careful, actually. Okay, it is going to blink away for the time being. One more fan of knives. The gold mine over time. Yep, of course. Got to get the tomes.
It's very important, guys. Especially if you're a streamer. Might be the most important quality.
Yeah. And having War 3 booster, of course.
Double workshop as well. So he wants to throw in maybe a couple bonus mortar teams with frag shards that can work out well against the Dryads, but Colorful is really good with Dryad control. And those can also lead to being easy snacks for the Warden then.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because if you preemptively get mortar teams, it's pretty good against the initial counter of the Dragonhawks and Mass Dryads. And you could also transition if there eventually is like an overwhelming air mass for Fortitude. Colorful's going to have to react probably by going for at least some hippogriffs eventually. So maybe he just sort of has all the counters, but he's going to go for the tanks. Love it. We finally get some tanks today, Remo Demo.
Alrighty. Dryads creeping in the meantime, and the Warden gets level 5. I'm gonna say hello right away. Takes out the Shadow Priest who was standing there. One Zeppelin in the main. Should have been perhaps at the expansion. Yeah. And this is gonna happen a whole lot now.
Yeah, this is only the first of the few peasants. There's probably gonna be at least... Let's make a little bet here. I think about maybe 25 more peasants are gonna die this game. Remo, what do you think? Under or over? Price is right.
That's a pretty good guess, I gotta say. I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna say 19.
All right. A new car. Alchemist about to get level 3, and that Sobi Mask is pretty good, as well as the Blood Mage. We're almost out of creeps. The bottom left and the shop still available for Fortitude. That's actually very important for both players, in fact. But yeah, this Tri-Hero, if it gets crept up, going to be really strong, but at least the Panda has enough creeps. I feel like this bottom left is pretty important for Fortitude to try to contest right now, because if this Panda gets 3, that's going to be very rough for the air.
Fortitude is trying to come in with a big attack. Tanks drop in, and the rest of the army is also around the corner. It says 80 supply. It doesn't quite look like it. That's the way it is. Panda has to walk all the way back home from the south. This is taking forever. And this tree is definitely gone.
And then what do you do? Like, is there enough anti-air in the army right now for Colorful? Because he's getting a couple of bears. This is going to be his army. 64 now supply. The Panda only on level 2. And now the town portal out. Did he TP to the expo? Ooh, he TPs to the expo. Now he can creep the remainder of the bottom left even.
That's pretty sick. And he's got a Zeppelin drop again. Great Zeppelin play by Fortitude. Is he about to eliminate the world champion?
That's pretty impressive so far. He's played interestingly, and it's worked out in his favor. All the plays that he's making that look a little flashy work, and that's what's important when you're going for these cool little Zeppelin drop plays, these wacky tower rush plays, that they work, or else you just look a fool.
Panda should be getting level 3 here now, which is going to be absolutely huge. I'll close the Warden to 6. That's usually really when the fight turns around in the Nihil's favor. Warden gets the ultimate, and then with the spirits, the Dragonhawks can be overcome fairly easily, I almost want to say. Warden's looking for the opening.
Didn't even pick up the ring.
Can get stumbled right away and siphoned.
Oh my god, he's risking it. Like, if there was a bash there, that could have been definitely difficult for the Warden to get out of. Oh, tank block? Nope. And the Panda does get 3. I almost think it was a mistake. Maybe he thought the bottom left was already crept Fortitude, but allowing Colorful to get the bottom left, get the Panda 3, and the Panda was only just a little bit over level 2 when the expansion was killed. Maybe a slight mistake that might allow Colorful to actually win a fight with these heroes.
Double heal scroll on Fortitude. It comes in with a Drunken Ace Breath of Fire right away. Does the Panda have a mana potion? No, he doesn't. That was the only combo we're gonna see. And now it's time to target the Dryads. Actually, he's going for the Bears. Bears doing lots of damage against the Blood Mage as well. With this human army, your heroes are always going to be tanking on the ground because there's nothing else to block against the Bears. They're doing great damage, and the Panda is in trouble as well.
Panda.
Oh! Didn't have the time for the TP. That must have been a bash there. Towards
that had
the
to
end,
have been a
Panda
bash,
goes
yeah.
down. That's a disaster. Disaster.
A disaster! The Warden gets level 6, but has no mana, and again, like you pointed out, no town portal, so he's gonna have to run. The question is, can he run away from the Mountain King? Because there's no TP, and there's no mana now for a Blink. This could be a surround, I don't think. And there's a staff, of course, but the bash is there. Always. Oh, there's a Stormbolt. This is just a dead Warden. Oh, he blinks out. Okay, 10 mana. Nicely done, nicely done. Just barely scrapes by the mana to get out. Oh, Bolt, though. He's got enough mana again. But the staff, does he have time? Okay, he gets out. Oh my god, he had 11 mana the first time, 11 mana the second time, and just enough time to staff out. Very close.
If the Warden had gotten surrounded there, she would have died, but not quite quick enough on the trigger there. But still good enough to 0 for 40. Colorful out.
Hot damn, guys. WGL champion, DreamHack Asia champion, eliminated without winning a single map here at the W3Champions Season 8 finals. Fortitude, what a day. 4-0 for 40. 2 overs Craft, 2 overs Colorful. Foggy, Chemico, Moon, Focus. You should be a little scared of this Chinese fellow who plays the human race really, really well.
Yeah, you know, I've been saying for years now, just tower rush these Night Elves, human players. Just tower rush them. And then, okay, on TS, you can play your Mountain King and all that, you know, have your fun, but just tower rush them. You know, I prefer to do it with a Naga or a Tinker and just fully go for the all-in, but gotta respect Fortitude's play, man. Really solid.
Absolutely incredible. Didn't expect that, to be honest. I thought, well, Kraft might win a map on his own home turf and his own server. And I thought Colorful would be taking this 2-1 as well, but no. It's really cool to see the rise of Fortitude again after his slump for like a year or something. Mm-hmm. We need 40 in shape. What's the Warcraft scene without 40 in shape?
And he did also with the tanks in the end, you know, it was written in the stars all along. Fortitude today, 4-0. Fortitude, 40-4-0. How could we not see it coming?
Is this the number 23, the sequel?
Dude, as a young kid, I thought that was actually a good movie. And then I
Me
rewatched it one
too,
day.
actually.
It was so bad. But I do love Jim Carrey. One of the best things that ever came out of Canada, I would say.
Oh man, they got so much good
True.
stuff in Canada. It's really hard to pick. These Canadians, man, they got great stuff going. They got great Warcraft casters. They got great musicians, great actors. What a nice country that is. But no Warcraft players here in the W3Champions finals. Gotta step that up, get that jigsaw puzzle piece. We do have a raffle for you, everybody. You know that. And we have more games for you. Raffle first. CORSAIR is with us once again for the W3Champions season final, as it is almost tradition by now. You can win one out of 3 CORSAIR Saber RGB wireless mouse, 1 K95 RGB Platinum XT mechanical keyboard, same one that I use, by the way, and 1 HS80 premium gaming headset, so you can watch Back to Warcraft YouTube videos while cleaning the flat or doing laundry or whatever you do in your home. And you don't have to sit down on your CORSAIR gaming chair looking at the screen. No, you can listen to us anywhere you want. And then the next games, everybody. There we go. We got 2 more. Plus the FFA show match later tonight. This one coming up now is pretty damn hype. The one coming up now could very well be a semifinal. It is definitely a semifinal to my heart. It is Johnny Cage versus Lawlight, gentlemen.
Woo, baby. And I know you guys are big fans, as am I, of Johnny Cage. And who couldn't like Lawlight? I think these are the two. You know, of course, I'm saying this, and there's very nice people from every region. But Lawlight and Johnny Cage, are they both the coolest, nicest dudes from their respected regions? I think they might be.
Yeah, auf jeden Fall. I was about to say, slip into German. Certainly some of the hottest contestants for just that. Johnny Cage has had a meteoric rise in the European scene last year, especially this year. If he plays his best, he could absolutely take out Lawlight. However, of course, Lawlight also a great champion of the Night Elves. Where he usually fails is in the big tournaments, where perhaps nerves get to him. But this is a bit on the smaller scale. This is, you know, community-driven. Lawlight, I think, should be the favorite here, but this is going to be a great match.
The community drives this with a Nitro booster on, by the way. $3,731 plus the $250 of Governor. We're closing in on the 4K, and at 5,000 we unlock the Back to Warcraft in-game overlay. What is it now, 4.0? I'm not too sure. I lost track at some point. But what we celebrate here is not ourselves, of course the players a little bit, but mostly W3Champions. There we go. The transition didn't work. Because W3Champions is the best place to play Warcraft 3 in the entire world. No server is better. We got state-of-the-art matchmaking. We gotta be honest with you, as we always are. The placement matches might be a kind of rough. Good news is, though, it's only 5 placement matches. Afterwards, the matchmaking is pretty much flawless. There's a lot of math behind. Something I would never be able to comprehend, but the geniuses behind the server, they know what they're doing, and so you get probably the best matchmaking possible for 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 4-on-4, FFA, and a lot of custom games as well. There's ladders for Legion TD, for Frostcraft?
Mm-hmm.
Frostcraft, and so much more. So the custom game community is not left behind at W3Champions. We got an active community. The Discord is, of course, always inviting you to join if you have feedback or suggestions, or just want to say a little thank you to the guys, which is probably the most important thing to keep up the momentum and keep up the great mentality that the team has. Join the Discord, say thank you, spam a heart in the chat, and there you go, you did something good. We, of course, are able to do these cross-regional tournaments thanks to the flow hosting invented and created by Fluxu. We got, I think the number of servers is pretty outdated. We got it feels like 1 million servers all around the world. It kind of surprises me that we don't have a server in Antarctica just for bragging rights. And all players across the world can play against each other on reasonable ping. That's amazing. And if there's a hiccup on the server for whatever reason, maybe you're playing on Wi-Fi, there is a reconnect feature, just like in the good old days for the server as well. And as you can see, we got the end of season tournaments that you fire up, ladies and gentlemen. And now we move into a little bit of a break to catch a breath. And then it's time for Johnny Cage and Lowlight. Be right back.